What's going on, guys? Taylor here with Level 100 Games. I've got a new card game to show you off today. It's not exactly brand new. I believe it came out back in December of last year. I could be completely wrong on that. But judging by there's 3 sets, that's my estimate of when it came out. Unless set 1 and 2 released simultaneously. I'm not sure how that worked here in the States. But I'm going to show off this deck today. It's a really fun deck in my opinion. A lot of people at my locals hate me for playing it because it is the most annoying control deck I have ever played or played against as far as the control archetype goes for both Magic, this game, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, all that. Because there's a combo with this. Once it goes, it says you cannot play the game. So I'll go ahead and get started. The ruler for the deck, or your commander in Magic terms, is Ebony Prophet, better known as Abdul, the Harbinger of Despair. I'm not really sure how the camera's picking him up. The artwork on these cards are really good, so the camera's probably not going to do him any justice. But what he does, he says, as his continuous ability, enter abilities of your opponent's creatures, additions, J-rulers, etc. cannot activate. They just do not trigger. So they play a Cheshire Cat, they have a 0-2. That's all they've got. His activated ability is for 0 mana, or will in this game. You can target a creature or addition. Additions are basically enchantments in this game. And they lose all their abilities. And it only lasts to the end of the turn, but you can do it twice for free at instant speed, so it's pretty ridiculous. I'll go ahead and start off with the stone deck. 4 Magic Stone of Black Silence. This is basically Bayou from Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, etc. in Magic the Gathering when it first came out. Word for word, basically the same card. 4 Magic Stone of Blasting Waves. This is basically Taiga. It produces red and green. Blasting Silence, for those who don't know what Black Silence or Bayou is, it produces black and green. 1 Feasting, the Holy Windstone. Basically just produces green and can give your guys hexproof. Grusabella, the Sealing Stone. This can be used as a kill spell. In most instances it's not. It's just there to produce black and to flip Abdul for 1 mana. But I've used it on several times to draw step minus 200 after recovery, minus 200 to kill a 400 creature before. For the main deck, 4 Elvish Priest. For those of you who play Magic, this is basically a carbon copy of Elvish Mystic or Llanowar War Elf, whatever you want to compare it to. 4 Gretel. This card's really good. For those of you who don't play Force of Will or are looking to get into it, what she does is when she comes into play, you reveal the top card of your Magic Stone deck. In this game, the mana and the creatures and spells go in separate decks, so you don't get mana screwed. Occasionally color screw happens, but not as often. But what she does is, if you reveal a stone off the top of your Magic Stone deck, that counts as a Windstone. So basically the dual stones and basic Windstones. It doesn't count Feasting, the Holy Windstone, because it's not a Windstone even though it says Windstone in the name. But basically I can reveal any of the 8 dual stones in my Magic Stone deck and get to play it for free, and it doesn't count towards playing my stone for the turn. She's really good. If you're playing green, I think you need to have her. 3 Feasting, the Magus of Holy Wind. She's one of the 6 sages. I believe there's only 2 out right now, her and this next one that's about to come in. But what she does is she has quick cast, which in this game means flash. So you can play it at instant speed during your turn or during your opponent's turn. And she says when she comes into play, target a creature and prevent all damage done to and dealt by that creature this turn. So when your opponent's attacking, you can quick cast this, target one of their guys so it can't deal damage, and then you can block something else. She's really good because if she survives the turn, I usually cast her during the end of the turn because I use her mainly for the mana ability, but she can tap for any color mana. Next we've got 3-0 the Moon Magus. Again, she's another flash creature with basically quick cast. And she says when she enters play, all your opponent's creatures get -200, -200, and lose flying. She's a 7/5, so it's really good. You can bring down one of their flyers and block it really easily. She's actually a really good card and has a lot of synergy with a lot of cards that are designed specifically for her. Next we've got 4 Mephistopheles, the Abyss Tyrant. In my opinion, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, powerhouse in the game right now. He's a 4 mana, 1500, 1500 with target attack and flying. That also says when your opponent targets him with a spell or ability, they take 500 life points. So basically, if they're trying to kill him with anything that's not a block or an attack, they're going to lose 500 damage. I've made my opponents lose up to the 1500 they would have taken just from taking the damage anyway, just because they wanted to deal with him. And he also says, at the end of your turn, you have to sacrifice a creature, but with a duel, at the end of the turn, you just shut that off, so it becomes irrelevant. We've got, for the spells, we've got 4 Thunder. Those who play Magic, it is identical to Lightning Bolt. One red, you can hit a creature or player or J-Ruler for 500 damage. It's really good. If you play red, you pretty much have to play this card. 3 Flame of Outer World. Not really sure how I'm liking this card. It's good, but it's bad at the same time, in my opinion. I mean, it's not bad as like it's a terrible card, but I find it very situational in this deck. When it's there, it's great. When it's not, it's not. I know that kind of sounds weird, but I find myself thinking if I play this, I'm probably going to lose the game because my mana's not up. That might just be me and how the people here play, because it's mostly aggro decks and random decks that most higher tier decks aren't meant to beat, I guess, because they're not tooled to beat them. It kind of sounds stupid and probably going to seem like I'm really bad at this game, but despite the way it sounds, I kind of know what I'm doing, not to sound cocky or anything. But Flames of the Outer World for me has been very situational. I tend to sit there and just hold it while I have until I have the Thunder in hand as well, just to take care of their J-Ruler as fast as possible. I use it mainly to keep their guys off the board so they don't hurt me. I mean, that is what it's intended to do, and them not being able to respond to it's pretty nice as well. But I just kind of wish there was a better version of this card. Maybe it's just because it's a red and a black rather than just a double red or double black. But enough about that card. It's a deck card I have to play just because it is good at what it does. 800 and they can't respond to it. 3 Absolute Cake Zone. It is counterspell. If I control Gretel, I draw a card. 3 Law of Silence. This is one of the cards that says your opponent. It's basically Time Walk for those who play Magic. Although Time Walk hasn't existed for 20-something years now. What it says is your target player can't use normal spells or summon spells for the rest of the turn. So what I usually do with it is I wait till they're tapped out and hit them with it, or turn 2 hit them with it, or turn 3 hit them with it. That way they can't be setting up while I am. It's a really good card. 2 green, take an extra turn is basically what it says. 3 Stoning to Death. I like the card a lot. Hero's Downfall for those who play Magic. Probably more like a Doomblade, only it can hit dark creatures. 2 Necronomicon. I'll set one of these aside because it's part of the combo. It lets you play cards from the grave, but at the same time, cards you have to discard. You have to remove your card, your hand, not your card. You have to remove your hand from play at the end of the turn. If I wasn't playing a duel, I probably wouldn't play this card. But I mean, if you're playing black, you basically have to play it. Set one of those aside to show the combo. Void Blast. This is basically one of the cards I was talking about with Zero the Moon Magus. If I control 0, it goes from being a 3 cost to a single black card that removes one of your opponent's creatures from the game. So it's essentially Murderous Cut, only instead of destroying the creature, it just straight up exiles it. And then 2, Exceed the Ancient Magic. It's just another counter spell, 3 mana, counter any spell, creature or normal spell. Cake Zone I didn't say earlier, but it doesn't counter creatures, but counters any spell. If I control a Feasting, the Holy Wind Magus, it does. I draw a card. So about the combo I was talking about, where they don't get to play the game, it revolves around having 4 cards. Technically, you only need 3 of them, but it revolves around having the Necronomicon out with a duel. With this, you can not only prevent yourself from removing your hand from play, being able to use Abdul's effect to shut this off, you can also, while these 2 cards are in the graveyard, during your opponent's draw step, before they untap, since the untap step in this game is after the draw step, you can use Necronomicon to play Wall of Silence from the graveyard, and in response to that, use Thunder. While these are in the stack, or Chase as this game refers to it as, you use Abdul's effect to turn off the Necronomicon, so when these resolve, they go right back into the graveyard rather than be removed from play. What it does is it causes an infinite loop to where your opponent can only play instant speed spells. Eventually they're going to run out, or their instant speed spells are not going to be that good. So basically you're saying, Wall of Silence, you're not playing the game, and then I'm going to slowly kill you with this Thunder. It works better if you have multiple Thunders, and if you have a cancel spell in the graveyard, as a cancel spell does kind of hurt this combo, because you just have to wait a turn and then they get to play a bunch of stuff, and it kind of sucks. Dream of Juliet really does break this combo as well, because it destroys the Necronomicon. But if you have the counter spell, like the Exceed the Ancient Magic or the Absolute Cake Zone, you are able to counter that and keep the lock going. I found out at locals, it's probably just because it's local and not like a higher event, but organized play has not been announced for this game yet, to my knowledge, other than the ARG stuff that they're starting to do. Once I've gotten this lock in play, most of the time the players just don't even want to bother with it and they concede the game. It's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. I think eventually they may need to be addressed by the people that manufacture the game, because this is not only is a very powerful card to begin with, paired with Abdul, it is scoreline game breaking, in my opinion anyway. But tell me what you guys think. Let me know Sideboard Options. I'm not going to share my sideboard because I don't feel it really pertains to anybody else other than this local meta, because every meta is different. If every meta was the exact same thing, like if it was mono black in Magic format last year or Dragon format a few years ago in Yu-Gi-Oh, I'd gladly share my side deck. But where every metagame is different, I feel there's no need, because your metagame is not necessarily going to reflect mine, and mine's not going to reflect yours. Mine is a lot of aggro decks, and it's a lot of Wizard of Oz decks. Not a lot, there's like 2 or 3, but still outside of the people that don't have the cards they need and the people that do, it's just a bunch of aggro decks and some attempts at control. And there's a lot of innovative strategies going on that people are trying. But let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below. I'm going to post a link to